It's hot, 97 degrees hot. Maybe you have a day at the softball field or the baseball field and you don't have a choice, but you're gonna have to grin and bear it. And you're already sweating. What's the best way to get through the day? I've got 5 options to help you beat the heat. Option number 1, a lot of you probably already have it. This is Dewalt fan. It's great because it uses just the standard Dewalt batteries. You turn it on, it really lasts forever, and it moves a fair amount of air. We've used these fans for years, and they're great for the pool, they're great for the garage. When we take them out to the baseball fields, softball fields, they work okay. In fact, we actually use these hooks in the back to hang them from the fence for the games in the dugout or whatever. So they work. Up next, our secret weapon, the Geek Aire fan. Now what I like about the Geek Aire is it actually has metal blades, a metal case. It doesn't have the removable battery, which is a problem, but so you only get about 2 to 3 hours on full blast, but it moves a lot more air than what you get from the Dewalt fans. So these are actually kind of like what you would have in your house. They're great fans. They're easily rechargeable, they're pretty lightweight, and you can angle them any way you want. So from an air output standpoint, I'd say it's at least 2 to 3x over the Dewalt fans. It's a lot broader, and it projects a lot more volume. So the Geek Aire fans, for us, they're the best. But there is a secret weapon that's more than just pushing air to actually keep you cool. This is the Coolify 2. Now, it's a pretty expensive little gadget, and it truly is a gadget. And I was completely skeptical if it would work, but it does work. So it's a little thing, and you're like, that's just one of those neck fans. I've seen those before. And it kind of looks like that, but it's so much better. What it has is it's got metal plates on it on both sides. It's got the fans, but these metal plates actually turn cold. So you turn it on, and then you just put it on your neck, and it chills. It's actually cold on my neck. It feels like I've got a cold, wet, like towel around my neck right now. It is awesome for an all-day event. The problem is the battery life again. You get about 2 to 3 hours, which isn't terrible, but if you're out on a softball field for 12 hours, you got to pick and choose when you want to use your Coolify 2. Trust me, we've had those discussions like, it's pretty hot, it's 2 o'clock, let's stick on the Coolifys for like 15 minutes. Now you can recharge them in between using USB-C, but again, in terms of actual cool performance, this is probably as good as it gets. The next 2 things I'm going to show you push out a lot of cool air, but they have limitations. This will actually cool you down right away. Best product, again, Coolify 2, love it. It's expensive, wish it had better battery life, but man, is it great. 3 modes, lowest mode will last you the longest. Mode 3 is the coldest, and your battery is going to drain a little faster. So here's our next product. It's also by Geek Aire. It looks like just a small fan. In fact, it's not much bigger than the one from Dewalt, but this has got a secret weapon. Right down here, it's got a reservoir of water. So it actually turns this into a swamp cooler. So you turn on the power, and that's right, that's water coming out. Now, there are disadvantages to this. You can see the water coming out. One disadvantage is that you got to fill up the tank, which isn't too big of a deal. You just got to be in a place where there's water. I usually keep a cup inside of here for when I transport it. I can go to the bathroom or whatever, fill up the water, and just take it in and fill this up. But the bigger disadvantage is that you get wet, right? So it's a nice cool mist. Love it, love it, love it. But you're gonna get wet. So if you got electronics and stuff like that, you're gonna want to kind of keep it away if it's sensitive to water. One of the cool things about this is that it actually has a removable battery. So you can pull it out right here, and you can swap it out with another Geek Aire. Again, Geek Aire to me is the kind of the kings of all this type of equipment. We don't use this one very often because usually when we're someplace where it's hot and we're there all day, we don't really want to get soaking wet. So it's kind of nice for like a quick breeze, kind of cool you off a little bit. Not so awesome to sit in front of it all day. The battery life on it's pretty good, and I like how it's just one battery that powers both the pump for the reservoir and for the fan itself. So that's a pretty cool feature for it. The next thing is much more effective, but it's a little bit more burdensome. Let's take a look at it. The final product, the infamous Icy Breeze. Now, we've used this. If you can look, though, there's some dust on it. So we don't take it out very often. In fact, I don't think we've used it in probably a year or two. Because it's cool, both figuratively and literally. But it does have a few things to it. So you put your battery on. You power this bad boy up. And then you turn it. And cool air blows your way. And it works about like one vent in your air conditioning in your car. That's what this feels like. So if you have a decent air conditioner in your truck or car, you turn it on full blast, this is what it's like. But it's one vent, right? Now you can pull it off, you can angle it around, there are attachments for it, so you can put other things to it. It's all pretty good, right? And it's a cooler. You can put 2 drinks on here. For some unknown reason, I bought it in black. Honestly, black shouldn't even be an option for a cooler, especially one that's designed to put out cold air. I don't know why I bought it in black. It was actually an oversight. The batteries, pretty basic batteries. I think these are actually Dewalt batteries, either Dewalt or Makita's. I got one that came with 2. The battery life on is pretty good, not bad. But there are a couple issues that keep me from using it as much as I should. So again, here's the cooler itself. You open it up, and you've got ice water. Key point, ice water. You gotta have ice. When the ice runs out, so does the Icy Breeze. So if you look over here, cool things about it, it's got a 1 amp output, 5 volt. You can charge. More you use it, the quicker that ice is going to melt. And once the ice melts, so does the cool breeze. I mean, it feels really nice coming out like this. I mean, it's like I said, sticking your head in front of your air conditioning vent in your car. So great. But why don't I ever take it anywhere? Well, for one, I got to bring an extra cooler. I can put drinks and stuff in here, but if you're opening and closing it, you're going to lose your ice pretty fast. Because it's a nice cooler, but it's not the best cooler that you're ever going to come across. Right at you, right? If you're 20 feet away, it's not quite as effective. Now, if you have a tent or things like that, man, the Icy Breeze is fantastic, right? It'll cool off your tent, give you a little bit of like air conditioning inside. But just to have it blowing in a field, it's not that great. Now, what I have done before is I put in one of those Geek Aire fans in front of it, right? Intensify that air coming out of it, and it feels pretty good that way too. But at the end of the day, more often than not, as cool as it really is, I find myself just not using it. And I hear about that from my wife because I did buy it. But anyhow, back to the kind of the summary. So kind of in summary, best way to beat the heat, the Swamp Cooler, the Icy Breeze, they're pretty cool and pretty awesome, but they've got limitations. For me, these Coolify 2s, and a nice Geek Aire fan. If you don't have that, the Dewalt fan, it'll work pretty well too. And if you've got the time, the patience, and the room, the Geek Aire Swamp Cooler or the Icy Breeze will also be pretty nice. Although you're going to have to be able to understand their drawbacks. If you have any questions, let me know. And what is your favorite way of beating the heat on a hot day? If there's something I didn't cover, I'd love to find out what you do. So thanks, leave a message, and please subscribe. Bye, everyone.